We've talked about Meta's layoffs a lot last year and this year. There was the 11,000 last year, looking at another 10,000 this year, and it looks like they are finally starting to affect the VR teams. Ready at Dawn, developer of popular game Echo VR, which is being shut down this August if you didn't know about that, unfortunately had about 40 people, or a third of their studio, recently laid off. This came as a bit of a surprise because they had talked about how they had cut back on the development of Echo VR. They were shutting it down to focus on their next game, but then now even some of their studio has been laid off. That, of course, is a very small percentage of the 10,000 total. Although something to be aware of in the gaming industry, this is not unusual. A lot of times big game developers will have to hire a lot of developers to finish a project, or when they have something new coming up, and then as they get closer to that project being finished, they have to lay a lot of them off because they don't have jobs once the game is done. This gives me some hope that maybe that next big project they talked about is getting closer, but it is unfortunate, of course, to see a lot of people who got into the industry they wanted to be in now have to go look for another job. The studio behind the popular milsim shooter Onward also being affected in this. That studio is Downpour Interactive. They are also seeing layoffs as well. This latest round of layoffs is about another 4,000 people at Meta. What do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments. We're seeing the Quest 1 get put away more and more as we're losing more games on it. Myst, that was remade just for VR, and even Onward now are both being taken off of the Quest 1. We'll see Onward lose support July 31st of this year. Myst support will last until October 1st, though. This is forcing a tricky decision on people who've stuck with the Quest 1 all this time with the Quest 2 because of all these rumors. The Quest 3 might be coming as soon as October. What do you do if you still have that Quest 1, you've been holding on to it? Do you buy a Quest 2 now at its lower price, or do you hold out a few more months? Quest 1 owners out there who still have them, what are you thinking about doing? As we've seen in the past, unfortunately, the VR industry isn't always forthcoming with its numbers as far as sales, headset sales, and software sales. So analysts are left trying to look through the documents of the years past, any information leaks they find, and come up with numbers of how much has actually been sold. Recently, a VR market analyst suggested that there's been about $3 billion in revenue since 2016. That was when that first wave of consumer headsets came out. Oculus Rift Original, of course the Vive and the PlayStation VR, but they're saying that most of these sales actually came from the Meta Quest store once the Quest launched, seeing about $2 billion of that revenue. And this comes pretty close in line with what Meta had said, that the store had generated about $1.5 billion in app revenue to date. Of course, we know recently now Beat Saber is the top one, earning $255 million of that itself. And this does represent a potential turn in the tide, as VR for a long time has been people passionate about it, interested in its future. Seeing facts and figures like this could actually start to attract more big companies into the industry for the money that is actually here, especially as we see the industry moving forward with more standalone headsets, hopefully at more consumer-friendly prices. This could mean a brighter future with more complete games like we've all been waiting for, those AAA titles everybody keeps asking about. These are figures from analysts though, so hopefully as these start to become more figures to be proud of, more of the VR industry will start to share their actual hard numbers with all of us. Eye of the Temple was a very unique game on PC years ago, where it used not only your own real-world locomotion, but it used your play space to then take you through an Indiana Jones style temple with obstacles, booby traps, and it is coming out on Quest 2 next week. This is actually created by a solo developer, and I cannot wait till this comes out. Although it originally only needed a 2 meter by 2 meter space, so about 6 feet by 6 feet, I'm excited to take this thing in as big of an open space as I can find and see how this will scale the game to that experience and see what it's going to feel like to explore this temple like that. Those of you out there who've been keeping an eye on this game, are you going to buy this next week and check this out at launch? Do you feel like you have enough play space, or is this still something that kind of goes to a niche audience where people have enough room to really enjoy a game like this? Let me know. If you've never taken the time to watch a VR-made film, short film, or VR-made movie, there's a lot of them out there that I would highly recommend you check out. Many of them are free, like Invasion, and a lot of them come from a studio called Felix and Paul's Studios. They are releasing another one now, just in time for Earth Day, Space Explorers Blue Marble. They call it a presence-based experience, and it discusses our place as humans in the universe and the importance of ensuring a future for the generations of people to come. This actually has footage shot from outside of the International Space Station even. So this comes out April 22nd. So if you haven't checked this out, it's totally free on the Quest to watch it. And if you haven't checked out a movie before in VR, this is definitely the time. I'm personally really excited to watch this because anything with space and the scale you get in VR when you're looking, it's exciting to me. And Felix and Paul does a great job. We've talked about them before here. What else is going on in the VR world that has you excited currently? We've had some big things going on in the VR space, big things going on here at the channel channel. Thanks to all of you out there. So for the millionth time, thank you once again. And I will see all of you in another reality.